Welcome. Go. Welcome. I know we missed last week and we missed you guys so much, but we're so glad to have you back with us right now on Inkwell Network and Inkwell Pictures for Think Feel Act, which is our acting class and our virtual engagement to get you sharper as an actor. We got some treats for you tonight because this evening we want to stay in the vein of all the different things that are happening on the planet and in the world. One of those things, of course, being what's happening, the funeral for Mr. Floyd today. Just really want to recognize what's going on in our country today. And the only thing I'm going to say, I'm going to leave it with, because I know a lot of people made a lot of comments about it, is unity is always better. Bringing it together is always better. So I'm hoping that that's what everybody's striving for, is really togetherness, to bring people together under one cause, bring people together under one love. So, Think Feel Act, like I said, it's our acting class. I want to go over what that concept of Think Feel Act is, and then we're going to get directly into what our assignment's about. Today we're going to be doing a few things. We're going to be dealing with a couple of issues that are out there prominent, like colorism. We're going to be dealing with issues like the rioting, looting, things like that. We're going to have a little bit of fun tonight, but we definitely want you to not only be entertained, but be educated as well, too. So, Think Feel Act, what that really encompasses is it encompasses the fact that thinking, feeling, and doing are all parts of a character that actors need in order to sharpen up and be great actors. So, to be thinking about how you're delivering a character, to look at what is the character thinking, what is the character feeling, and how that plays over into action is a really big part of it, and it is the actor's responsibility to bring that out. So, that's where we're going with this as far as the Think Feel Act. We use the feelings wheel. If you look that up online, you'll find a number of different variations of the feelings wheel, but they all pretty much the same on concept, which is really just teaches you how to go in depth with feelings and to do what you can to really display as many emotions as possible when it comes down to choosing a palette for a character to feel from. So that's where we are, getting ready to dive right into the scenes currently right now. Before I do that, I want to give a shout out to my brother Quinn up there in Chattanooga doing his thing, and also my nieces up there, Veronica and Ashley. Hey, how you guys doing? Also to Anthony, what's up, partner? What's happening? Just want to give my shout outs to you guys, man. Love you guys, miss y'all. And let's get into it. First scene that I'm going to set up right now is two actors who have gone out for an audition. They're coming in, they're kind of waiting after the audition to basically see what's happened. And they find out really together who got the role and why a particular person got the role, why a particular person didn't get the role. So instead of getting all drawn out into it, I'm going to bring our actors up. Who we got running the first run right now? We've got Sid coming up as part of this. So Sid, come on up, take a seat. And we've got Lorenzo coming in on that. Lorenzo rocking the Bucks hat, you know, the whole thing. That's what I'm talking about. Get that season coming in real quick. So we're going to go ahead and set the scene up for you guys here and get it started. We'll let our actors who are really polishing up, professionals in this, we'll let our actors jump into it. So without further ado, the scene. Good.
What's up, man? Hey, how you doing, man? Hey, nothing up there. You're trying to audition for this Riverdale thing. Yeah.
Louder! You here for Riverdale too?
Yeah, I'm from Riverdale.
Okay. First time going?
Yeah, the first time. You know, I had a lot of people tell me I'm crazy. I shouldn't even try my good enough, but I figure, what the hell? I'm just going out here and trying.
Yeah, just be yourself, man. You should have it, man. Where you from, man?
I'm from Atlanta, like yourself.
Atlanta? What about Atlanta?
From just outside of Atlanta, Sand Springs. Yeah, like yourself.
Okay. Well, man, what a coincidence.
So you've done these auditions before? You're not nervous?
Yeah, man. It's great, man.
I'm a little nervous, man. I'm just trying to read up on these lines and make sure I don't screw up, you know.
That ain't nothing to be nervous about, man. You got it. Super good, man.
Well, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Good, homie.
Good luck to you.
Good luck to you too, man.
Simon?
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Oh,
We'll
thank
be in
you.
touch. We'll be
Thank
in
you.
touch.
Thank you. Hey man, well, good luck to you, man. All right. Well, it's COVID, so it's gonna be a bump here. Well, good luck, man.
All right.
Were you waiting for something?
I'm here for the
We already made some decisions. I thought they told you that you could leave.
Okay, so you filled the position already?
Oh, we did. Thank you.
Okay.
Stand, both gotta stand.
Can I ask you, like, what made the decision as far as like that role?
Well, the producers, we have a certain image that we want to keep, and it's really about really representing like a certain genre, certain style, and we already have someone that really fits the image that we're looking for.
Like what kind of image?
Well, Riverdale is like, it's not, we're looking for someone that's not that less threatening, a little less, with everything that's going on, we want to make sure that people feel comfortable when they see these images and that they can really relate. And,
I'm not quite comfortable with you. Like, a look, you're looking for a certain look.
well,
I know how to switch it up, so
it's not a matter of switching it up, because when you look at someone, it just says a lot. And you kind of have that hard, threatening, threatening look, and it just really doesn't quite appeal to everybody, like hard, like, dark,
Dark.
well, not like the color dark, but like more so just like that.
was it a skin color? Yeah, we're looking for like,
Well,
we're looking for a brother to play a role.
when there are producers, they have a certain image, so it's not that not really a color, but it kind of is there. When you get a little darker, sometimes like people read that a little differently, because you can come across a little more angry.
Oh, no,
Darker. If you smile, they really like your face, but if you're not smiling, it's a little, like when I walked out, I even felt a little offended.
I understand what y'all talking about. Me. It's still a little offended. You talking about skin color?
Watch your black. Watch your black.
What's this? What's
Both
this
you
language
guys
you're
talk
talking
Skin color you're talking about?
Sir, can you just you see, you're already getting at the, calm down.
We just asked a question. Is this a question?
Oh.
The skin color you're talking about?
Well,
You
yeah.
took that? Okay, I understand. Thank you. Appreciate you.
All right. Give him a hand. Come back. That's what you is. Come back in.
That's
All right. Very, 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 very nice. Listen, like I said, we're going to touch on some serious content here tonight. One of the things that we wanted to touch on was basically colorism. So let me talk to the actors a little bit as far as where they're going through, because some of these things, I know, especially when I was out there really grinding at it as an actor, those were things I had to deal with as well too. Sometimes, you when a writer or a director and casting, they have in mind an actor that they're looking for. And if you walk in the door, you don't look that role or you're not it, it's a fight uphill basically to get there. So let's talk a little bit about, for one, I'd like to know if any of you have ever been in a situation like that, whether it was for acting or whether it was for a job or anything like that, where you felt like, hey, I might be being looked at a particular way just because of what I look like, or my skin color, or whatever it might be.
I face that in the field that I work in all the time, man. Like since I was younger, you face that where you may not look the part. You're more than capable of doing the job. I'm an electrician, been with you for 22 years.
Okay.
And down through the years, it's always basically overlooked.
Right.
Because of the skin color, that's how you look.
That's a real thing. So he's saying he's just an electrician, and I think I will have to admit my level of guilt if I'm hiring someone for a job. Sometimes I will pause a little bit depending on which job. It depends on who shows up. Not necessarily black, but it might even be Hispanic, or it might be they look a little old to be climbing up on my roof or whatever it might be, I might take a little pause just based on what shows up as well too. And some things we got to get beyond that, of course, from a world perspective, but we have to get beyond that from a racial perspective as well too, because I mean, we got a couple of different varieties of chocolate and caramel up here on this stage right now, you know, and that's something we need to get past as well. Others?
Yes, I've experienced it. Actually, my first job here in Tampa, I went in for one role, and then after I interviewed, they called me back for a receptionist position. And, you know, I told them, no, I'll wait for the role that I interviewed for. And so later when I got hired, because they circled back, they told me how I had to, like my mannerisms, the way I needed to dress to fit this role so that I could work with people that did not know me. So yes.
Absolutely. Sid, what about you? Anything that?
Well, yeah, I've had it happen also. I mean, when I got out of the military, came home, I had the evaluation showing 4 stars, all those things, and you're going for a job at a hotel, and it's for a front desk job, and the guy just kept trying to get me to the door.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm like, that's not what I'm going to do.
Right.
I'm here for this job at front desk, and he just kept shoving it in my face. Point blank going down.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I've had this debate a lot. Some people think because you're light skinned, you get a little bit easier. You don't. You're black.
That's right.
Hey, like, it doesn't matter if you're dark skinned, light skinned, you're black. You're a black man. So you're threatening no matter what to some people.
Right.
To some people.
And we've all been through that as well too. You know, the entertainment industry definitely not immune to that as well. When you're playing a role like this, you know, the challenge is, of course, separating the youth from the role. But there's some value in everything, our experience and what we've experienced. There's some value in that as well too. So I don't want you to forget about it. I want you to be able to tag in on those feelings, those emotions, and all those things that can contribute to this character that you're creating in those roles as well too.
All right, we'll jump in real quick. A couple of quick points that I want to say. And a lot of this we're going to try and compress and get to the meat of what we're doing because we want to be able to fast track this. So simply what I want you guys to think about is that all the feelings and the emotions that you have in your real life, yes, definitely will transfer into performance. But you have to still get inside the moment. You know what I'm saying? So for example, your level of rejection, I want everybody and actors out there, if you're not doing this, you are cheating yourselves. Everybody should be looking at the multiple layers in the situation that they're in and that they're casted in so that they can give their fullest performance. In other words, instead of offering the director one slice of meat on a plate and saying, hey, is this good? You want to give him an entree. So inside of that, for example, in this scene, the layers to your performance had not just to do with this audition, but every black face that you see who's not giving you something because of your blackness, or every situation you've ever been in that has suppressed you or that you didn't get an opportunity not based on your skill, but your blackness, and that rage should be building inside of you that it explodes out into your performance kind of thing, you know what I'm saying? And it starts business-like because as black actors, we go in trying to be business-like when they already typecast us and fit us into this role. And that means that your performance has to be that much bigger. And so when you go in considering it, you know, I see a lot of young actors just consider the moment. And they go, oh, okay, this is what I'm doing in this scene. And they don't think about the entire encompassing piece. That maybe roles came to your character easier because you're a lighter skin. You know, because of maybe that they say, well, he appears to be more compromising in his demeanor. You know what I'm saying? And so inside of that, you also have black casting directors who go in and they make those decisions and stereotypes. And so your character might play it a lot more mellow, a lot more cool because the opportunities may flow to him a little easier and he understands the game and works it, versus your character may come out of range because what if you did get a role? What if she was casting it and it was for like this thug character that you was like, man, I went to college for 8 years and did all this stuff and these are the only roles I'm getting. So let your performance build not only from experience, but build from layers. Little pieces of every little thing. That in any role that we give you, any role you go to, cut that role up into 10 pieces, 20 if you can, 30 if you can, of layers of what's going on inside the role. I want to move this though because we got a lot of good stuff for you and we don't want to hold everybody up all night. So great job, guys. Let's move on to the next piece. Marv, jump in. Marvin, give us a setup. What's the next one?
All right. Very, very nice. Okay. So next setup that we're going to do, like I said, we're keeping in the same vein in that the next setup we're going to do is we're going to do a setup where we're dealing with the protest itself, March for Black Lives Matter, and looting. I know a lot of people have different varying opinions on the looting, and so do our two characters. Our two characters are up basically. Those characters will be a character played by Samone. This is the character where they're looting, and one of them is against looting, and the other one is for it and trying to kind of understand it.
So they're out in front of the store?
They're out in front of the store, that's right. So out in front of the store, looting, played by Samone, and the other character is played by Kyla. This is Samone. Go ahead and curtsy for them, Samone. There you go. Bang! There it is. Come on up, Kyla. Get your curtsy on. Oh,
And what type of storefront Marvin would be? So let's do it in front of the law.
Now, so again, this is one of those situations where the character Samone is very understandable about the frustration that has built up and has gotten to this point, and she's talking about that. They're both having conversations about the movement and some of the impact and the positive impacts of the movement, but then they get into the conversation about the looting. And Samone understands the struggle of the looting aspect, and Kyla is totally against that. She feels like, we use that for the other. She's totally against that. She feels like looting is not something that resolves or solves any issue. Okay? Here we go.
Yeah, my heart's set.
Okay.
Now, what I'm going to do is, I think I'm going to put them out in front of a Macy's, Marvin.
Macy's?
Let's use Macy's.
People shop at Macy's too? Oh. They tried to do that?
Come on out.
So Black Lives Matter.
Woo, Samone!
So we're gonna just make a switch out because
Ooh, they
Kyla
match.
is gonna play one of our other roles as well too in the
go down
evening.
purple
So
stars.
we're gonna have Shawn play the character, and Shawn now is the one who is actually reasoning with this frustration that Samone has, and this is gonna layer off really well because Samone is almost feeling like Shawn should be with the looting. He should understand he's a black man who's dealing with a whole caveat of things because of being a black man. But Shawn is really locked in on the power of what movement and unity and together and all that can do. And they're really trying to convince each other to each other's side. So they're debating this issue here. Correct. Here it is. All right, let's get it.
Hang on a second. Hold on. So what you tell me without something like this? Something like this.
You're gonna walk on scene. Come on off, Shawn, for a sec, and we'll walk you on.
All right.
Basically, there's a crowd behind you guys, and you're gonna walk up on scene, and you get ready to walk across the street, basically join in to the scene because the storefront there.
Ooh, can I be the crowd? Like scream out crazy noise? Santa
And
Claus is
Mark
black.
there to test it.
So I can't, can I be the crowd scream out
You
noise?
can, you be crowd noise.
Yeah, Marvin.
Right there. Perfect. Got it?
So you guys are in the street getting ready to go across the street.
All right.
Supposed to be on some crazy. Shut down Artie's. We don't need no Cracker Barrel. No one eats a Cracker Barrel anyway. Come on.
Action.
This is crazy. This is wild.
Santa Claus is black.
You like this?
What's that?
It's a sweatshirt I just got out of the store.
Really?
Yeah. So you just
Look.
go just like everybody else. That's what we're doing. That's what we're here for.
Yeah, why do you have a problem with it? It's not yours.
So you told me that I was coming out here to support the movement. What is this?
This is a part of the movement.
Oh my gosh. You see what's going on? Police, everything.
Yes. Are they
And you had me
justified?
out here, Louis.
Are they just? I have this. I didn't offer it to you. You could have got it.
So what's going on? You kidding me, right?
No, I'm serious. Why do you have a problem with me going in the store taking this?
Because we just had the whole conversation, black king, black queen. You know, we're trying to unite.
This black queen
And
could be
besides,
rocking
where is
this
this from? What
sweatshirt.
is this?
Why does it matter? I
Really?
didn't have to pay
This is
for
a
it.
black business, Samone.
This is a black business.
Yes.
Well, I'm sorry. I wasn't aware of that. They do have insurance companies, so
They have insurance claims.
They
How do
have
you know?
insurance. Every business has to have insurance.
That's
That's where
not
the
true,
money's coming.
Samone. That's not true.
So where are you getting
Not
money?
every single store can afford the proper insurance to cover all of their inventory.
Proper
And that's
insurance
correct.
versus not having.
Correct.
They wouldn't
Not
have.
every private store can do that. Samone.
They wouldn't have the loan.
And I
if they didn't
guarantee the
have
store that you got
insurance.
that from right there is going to be struggling to try to get that inventory back. You need to return that.
How much? Everything else in the store is gone. This little sweatshirt is not going to make a difference.
So that makes it better.
How do you even know where I got this?
So
from?
how do you feel right now?
I'm
Stealing
enraged.
merchandise that you didn't even work hard to get. You have money.
How do you think
don't
I
even
feel?
need
How
to
do you
do
think I
this.
feel seeing our people dead in the street for something that
And
has
this is
nothing
gonna
to
fix
do-
it?
No, but dang it, it's gonna make me feel better. Just a little
It
bit.
makes you feel better.
A little
Does it
bit.
make? Hold on. Hey, sir. Does this shirt make you feel any better?
He's not wearing it.
Huh? No?
He's not wearing it. I am.
Okay.
Let me help you understand.
Help him.
Let me help you understand something.
Okay,
Because you're talking to a dead person right now. It's a lot of people that have been gunned down in the streets by police officers. And not gunned down, been strangled and killed one way or the other.
Okay.
And no one is doing anything about it.
Okay.
So what if I break or throw a brick through a window and go get a sweatshirt? Because I'm frustrated. What else do I have to show for that?
So you throwing
What
a brick,
else-
so
what
you throwing
else
a
do I
brick through
have?
the window is gonna stop little Johnny from getting shot 2 years from now?
No,
What is
it's
that gonna
not,
do?
but it's going to piss them off. to
No,
make
that's gonna give him an
changes.
excuse. You know why? Because now it's justified.
People
Now
been
we're animals.
killing us
Now we
without
can control
justification.
ourselves because now that we have a little bit of freedom to do what we want, we're doing stuff like this and stealing sweatshirts. A
Sweetheart.
sweatshirt.
Sweetheart, whether I steal a sweatshirt or not, we're still being gunned down. Still being gunned
And this
down.
is gonna help.
Just like people smoke, just
It's
like
about
people drink.
progress.
This is making me feel a little bit better. Because I'm taking something and I'm hitting them somewhere.
And who's feeling it?
The people whose pockets are
The
going to
person
be
that owns that
affected.
store is feeling it.
Yes,
And that's
it
your
is.
brother. That's
That's
your
not
sister. That's our people. That's not, you not part of the culture?
That's our people that's
Because
getting
last time I
gunned
checked,
down.
your skin is just like mine.
That's the same people that's getting gunned down in the street.
Exactly. Because why?
Where they getting the money from?
They
from
are
their
treating us
business?
like we are on
Where
another
they getting their
level.
money
This
from
is
the
what's
business?
proving
Where they
that.
getting the money from?
They're getting the money from working hard.
They're getting the
Investors.
money from the banks.
How do you
So
feel?
how do you mean how
They
do
don't
I
have
figure?
private
They need a
investors.
loan.
They don't have
need a-
venture capitalists that they can go to outside of
The
banks.
person for this store
Think about
doesn't.
it.
I did my
Think
math.
about
I did
it.
my homework. They don't.
You did your homework?
I did my homework. They don't.
Okay, so
This is back. I'm not going to pull this out right now, but this is backed by white banks.
wrong. So you're trying to
So
tell me that all
eventually
of this
they're
was
going to
all
be
of this was
affected.
planned,
They're
right?
going to be
so
affected.
before the actual events happened, you went and did your research and realized that they already had an investment from a bank. So you already said this
That's
is
white
cool.
owned.
Really?
That's white.
Come on,
yes,
and you're still
I
getting
really
praised.
did.
Okay, so let's talk about this. Now we could take the dialogue because of the subject that's involved, and we could run this thing to infinity because the conflict could go into infinity, right? But what if we change the context of the acting and we say, what if it's not as much about what she stole, but the fact of how you feel about her and how disappointed you are that she went in this particular direction? Okay? And what if his respect was the thing that you held in the highest regard when he approached you with it? That you need his respect. That this cause was something that you felt energized by, but his respect for you is the thing that is that overwhelming factor, that thing that you strive for in a relationship. And what if that's gone now because all of a sudden she took something? What does that look like when you discover, hey, where'd you get that from? Ready?
You want us to walk in here?
You don't have to walk in again. Ready? Action.
This is crazy, Simone. Who is that?
This is a sweatshirt I took from the store.
Joe?
I was with a crowd of people. Everybody ran inside the store, white and black, and I just ran in and grabbed the sweatshirt.
You're so much more better than that. Really? I just got to telling my pops about you the other day, and I was like, man, I'm so glad I have Samone coming with me to protest down there. I didn't know it was gonna be over this.
It kind of just sort of happened. I didn't plan for this to happen. It's just someone threw like 5 bricks through the window and everyone went in and I got pushed in actually. And in the midst of being pushed in, yeah, I was already in
Look
there.
at the bigger picture, Samone. Okay? I get it's just a sweatshirt, that's cool. But let's look at the whole picture right now. Alright? You are a black queen, okay? You work hard, alright? You know how to take care of yourself, you provide for your family, and that's what we need. That's what we need more of. Okay? You were so much more bigger than this sweatshirt right here. Okay?
You're absolutely
just-
right.
Samone.
You're absolutely right. And if I can turn the tables, I would. But I already have it and I'm not trying to make an excuse for it. But I don't know what to do with it now. All I can do now is try to encourage people not to do it.
This is what we do, right? We already took the sweatshirt, so just whatever we got. Let's go out here, okay? Let's raise our voices, right? Let's talk to our people and tell them what we have to do, all right? We know we have to do that.
And I do my
It's
part to
now
try to
or never,
encourage people not to do
and I'm
this.
dead serious, like, this is breaking my heart what you're doing right here. You understand? I love you, okay? You are a sister to me, all right? It shouldn't be like this. I'm just so sick and tired of my people dying and then we go out and then we do these type of things and it becomes justified. And it shouldn't be like that.
You're absolutely right. So the way that I'm going to fix this is to go out here with everyone else and make sure I'm stopping our people. If I see someone raise a brick instead of a fist in the air, then I'm going to be right there and grab that brick and have this very same conversation.
That was so juicy.
Cut.
It was just juicy. It was Gucci. All right. So as you can see, you can take the context of any particular scene and you can turn it and you can twist it in multiple different directions. What that also does is demonstrates that there's so many different sides to a role that if you go in and you're not armed with information, it's very difficult to perform. If you go in and you're not armed with the right setup, the right emotion, you're not thinking the right way, you're not feeling the right way about the characters, it's very difficult to act, it's very difficult to go in and put together a performance. Let's keep pressing on, keep pressing on. Let's set up the next clip. Where's mine? All right, so Mico, what was the next piece? Is this the looting with the girls?
There's something hard in this seat.
All right, so we went to Lorenzo. Lorenzo, you're going to be all that guy because then you saw earlier about plan. What's up? Plan.
All right, so this is the one where the ladies are heading in and out, trying to decide which stores to loot.
Girls should be going
And so you guys are running in to the shop. So
I want you to haul out the fair.
What shots we got?
I want you to haul out the fair.
the shops we have are Victoria's Secret,
I need a light.
King Jewelers, and a shoe store.
Yeah,
Should
light.
be in that order.
Is
So I'll do
Is that what?
I'll
Is
do
this the light?
Victoria's Secret first, King
small
Jewelers,
one.
and then the last one is shoe store. All right, so in this particular scenario, what we're going to do is we're going to do kind of something that has a little bit more action, energy, and hopefully something that you guys enjoy. In this particular scenario, we have a couple of friends who are together. They're at the mall when a bunch of looting starts to spark off, and they're trying to decide and be selective about where they're going to go and what they're going to get, and they cannot decide. We're going to call this looting shopping. Looting shopping. All right. And here we go. First store we're going to do is going to be Victoria's Secret. All right. Everybody ready? Victoria's Secret's first one. You can go in, you guys try and decide, and at some point if you hear me go, hey, there they are there, you guys run up, oh, let's go. So you never actually get in the store, you're outside. Ready?
Do we have a brick? Do they have a brick?
Where's the brick?
I need the brick.
Hurry up, Mark.
Please stand by. Please stand by.
Please.
Mico, that file went to 19 gigabytes.
Oh, here. Did I give it to you already?
Yeah, but it's 19 gigabytes.
Just give me 16. I'll transfer the other 3. The other rep, like the first half would be the first half of the card, and I put it on laptop, empty it out, bring it back to you. Alright, you got a little dark, so I gotta get a little more light. Stop moving. Huh? Is fans blowing it? I'll tie this up. There we go.
The first store is what?
Victoria's Secret.
Okay.
Second store is going to be.
Second store will be K Jewelers, and the last store will be a shoe store. Kind of a big store.
Jimmy Choo.
I don't know what it is. I'm good. Pretend like you go there. Yeah, do what you know between you right.
Ooh, damn, I cannot imagine.
Ready?
We're going to key you in. Because it.
Are we ready?
Well, in the middle, we'll let them know how many.
Yeah, in the middle. So when
And action. Go. You guys in front of each other. Keep going.
Oh,
You
girl.
go first.
Oh, Victoria's Secret. Oh, my God.
Oh, right there.
Okay, wait. Did this one? Is this one? I don't know, girl. I don't know. Cause like Victoria's Secret is like special to me. I lost my virginity in a Victoria's Secret. I don't know. I might not want to do that, girl. I don't know. Wait.
We can get a lot of stuff in this bag.
Girl,
So we can get it.
that's a good bag.
Like it's big.
I don't know though. I don't know. I mean, they hold a special place in my heart.
Listen.
I don't know if I can do that to the Victoria's Secret.
Okay.
I mean,
But look, right. You like that FedEx? Look.
oh, girl, that's hot.
That is hot.
Oh, that is hot.
Is it the ring?
Ray might like that. I might be good in that though.
Okay, that's my babies. No.
Hey, there they are right there.
You guys are still moving, you're still running, and now you come across K Jewelers and boom. Right there.
Okay.
Oh.
Oh my God,
Girl.
girl.
I want this ring. You remember that you proposed to me? And I was so little.
What was his name? Rachel? I can't remember. I think it was Rachel. But he was kind of cute.
The little
Watch
ring,
your back.
the little bitty ring.
Okay.
The little bitty ring, the little bitty ring.
Well, I gotta get a selfie with all this jewelry. Wait.
Are we doing
I got a TikTok.
TikTok, man, come on. We ain't got that much
Girl,
time.
come on, all these people out here, girl,
For real, like, we didn't bring no mask, man. So hurry up, man. No, get the break. Get the break. Wait. Girl, where the break? Okay, wait. You ain't bring the break. I got the break, but, girl, wait. You think they'll do it first?
Maybe we have to have somebody in
That
the
was big.
bed. It's some guy. I think we get somebody.
Oh,
Girl, what you think I keep it from?
We want to oh my God.
What y'all doing?
You got the Michael Kors? Where's the Michael Kors?
He kind of close.
Wait. Okay, wait. Where he got him? Oh yeah. But you got the Michael Kors though. Where was my? Was it that way? Can I get that? Hold on. How about him? How? He might have a coupe. Hey, come to the table. Wait.
Hey, there they are right there. Y'all been this other guy.
That woman's shoe store. Oh, that's us. That's just ready? And action.
Okay.
Girl, we done been all over the city and we ain't got nothing yet. I'm tired. But you think
But
I
I got
got
that
that
purse.
purse?
You think they got Michael Kors shoes in here?
I ain't got it.
They got shoes. They got shoes. Girl, they got shoes. Look behind us. Look. Yep. Oh,
Are we getting it this
we
month?
getting this.
We want a selfie?
Cause
All the stuff.
No.
Girl, wait a minute.
Oh,
We getting this stuff.
okay. Get back. All right, come on.
I think I got him. They're over here.
Marvin, that's it.
All right. All right, a little bit of fun for y'all on the whole Louis system. Was that just a picture of R. Kelly? That brother stole a picture of R. Kelly? All right, all right. Just a little fun for y'all on the looting scenario. Not to take looting lightly or anything like that. But we did want to kind of mix it up a little bit. Just make sure that those of you who are out there standing for the movement, make sure you're standing in power when it comes to the movement. That'll be all that I say about that.
That was beautiful.
Stand in power when it comes down to movement. You're looking to do change for tomorrow, not satisfaction for just today. So stand in power. All right, and then the last piece that we're going to do is, man, I forgot what the last scene was supposed to be.
Husband's leaving out late at night. Wife doesn't want him to leave because all that crazy stuff going on.
That's right. Husband's leaving out late at night. Husband's leaving out late at night.
Yeah, he's
Wife
frustrated.
doesn't want him to leave out. He's frustrated, just really dealing with this time and the climate and everything that's going on. And his wife is there really to be the voice of reason and to do what she does best, which is to calm her man's heart and make sure he's prepared for the world. So, if I can have my two actors on this particular scene, I believe we were going to have Sydric and Latraia. Sydric and Latraia on this particular scene.
Where we at?
Calm your man. They're standing right now, or are they sitting?
They're standing in the living room.
Standing in the living room.
What do they look like? What do count?
Now what we'll do is he comes in from work, he's frustrated, he's talking about all kinds of crazy stuff that's happening in the neighborhood, stuff on fire, this and that, and he's so frustrated because he's been stopped 3 times in the last month, and he's going out there because he's got to do something. He can feel the energy is moving, and his wife is saying no because she's afraid. She's afraid what's happening out there. This is a different time, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
What's the thing?
That's it.
Couch? What
Yeah, it's a couch, so you'll be standing in the living room. So what I'll do is, I'll do this modern house like this.
Okay, so if I sit down, I'll be sitting on the floor.
Possibly, we can set it up where you sit down, sit next to that. That's what I'm Yeah, we can adjust it where you guys are sitting on,
Move forward, backward.
no, Trey, line yours up. And Marvin, we're gonna tilt the camera up and down.
Right, yours out this way.
Going forward or going
Yeah,
back?
right like that. And Mel, what are we zooming out?
Yeah, this is a bad perspective. Zoom in. Yep, and then you gotta take them the other way. Way other way. Keep
That's
going.
it. That's as far as it goes. Yeah.
Yeah, Trey is kind of floating in the middle of the floor. Stand up, Trey. The only way that we work with Trey is you're gonna have to turn your body angle because the scene is angled a little bit, and Trey would have to probably almost back up a little bit.
Chair or my
The
body?
chair itself,
Back up to the wall?
yeah. I don't know if it's still, I don't know. Yeah, you still sitting on the edge, very edge. You guys do this standing.
Okay.
Coming in frustrated.
Is that gonna work where she is?
Yeah, where they are, they're great standing wise.
I mean,
Except for Sid's out of seat a little bit. Sid's got
okay.
to be
So,
that
standing.
So I'm just standing in the living room.
You're pacing, he comes in upset and you're like, hey, what's up? You got home late and he tells you about everything that's going on out there in the street and stuff.
Okay.
And he's so mad and just can't continue to go on. And you're trying to make him stay home. But he feels like he needs to go and get
If I
out.
put this here, is that crazy looking in the chair?
It looks like it's just floating in the air. That's fine.
Floating in the air?
Ooh, yeah.
It's just floating in the air.
It's fine.
Okay.
Ready?
Oh, no.
Say, why don't you enter Latraia's pacing because you're coming home late. All right. Ready? And. Mico over here.
No, I'm not.
Mico's not
I'm
there.
gonna leave before your man gets here.
Okay, hurry up.
All right, I'm ready.
Whole nother scene. Oh, Lord.
Let's go.
Action.
Hey, baby.
Honey, what took you so long? I was getting worried.
You know, I just got stopped by the fucking police again. For the 3rd fucking time this week. I'm getting sick of this.
Oh, God. What happened?
I can't drive it. You see, they're burning fucking buildings down there with this riot and this shit. And I can't even drive my damn car home because of it.
I know, baby. I know. But you hold calm down. Relax.
No. I'm getting tired of being fucked with the police every time I drive down the goddamn street.
I know, but it's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay.
No. This is the third time. You hear what I'm telling you? This is the third time this week I've been stopped. I can't drive my fucking car home like everybody else do.
Oh.
And why the fuck are these people going so fucking crazy over this shit? This ain't the first black man that's been killed. It ain't gonna be the goddamn last either.
Oh, baby, I understand your frustration. I understand your frustration.
You know what?
We need to keep it together, though. Hey.
I'm getting sick of this bullshit every goddamn time I come home.
Man, I can't afford to have you like this. You need to calm down. You need to calm down, because you know what? No matter what's going on out there, we need you here.
I don't think you understand what I'm telling you.
I do understand.
I mean, one day I may not make it home. These damn police keep fucking with me. Because I drive a fucking Maserati, is that why? I can't afford that, I'm supposed to drive that?
I know.
I work hard for that.
Yes, you do. And you don't deserve this. I'm not saying it's right, but we have to find a way.
You sound like a preacher right now, baby. I don't need you to sound like that right now. I need you to be here with me. Seeing eye to eye with me right now.
I am with you, and I understand your frustration. I do. But I can't have you going out here doing something crazy, because I still need you here at home. You can't go out there being crazy like them other fools.
Freeze. All right, well done. He comes home, he's frustrated because of the climate of the day and everything he's going to. And it's a good interpretation if you get a script breakdown for this particular scene. But what if he's feeling some kind of way about his lady? Because he feels like maybe she doesn't understand because that black pretty woman gets it so much easier. Doesn't get the same pressure I do. That I feel like I'm about to explode and cave in under the pressure, and maybe you don't understand it because you don't have to deal with those different things. Maybe you work at a nice little boutique downtown and you have all your little friends that you hang with, and they just feel like this is just gonna blow over like it always does, and you don't feel that way. Maybe it's boiling up inside of you, and you're feeling like, man, she don't understand me, she don't understand where this rage comes from. How do you contain it? Staying in the moment of the relationship.
Okay, so I act like I don't understand this frustration.
Yeah, you feel like, hey, look, you just need to calm down. You're subduing his feelings, and inside of this, like I said, when you think about all those different dynamics, yeah, it can be about the police, but what if it's not only about the police? What if it's about her and her friends, and how she don't understand, and how maybe you don't act black enough, and you don't think black enough, if that were a thing. You know what I'm saying? Where does that compressed rage come from? That hey, it's not just the police, it's the whole entire system built around it. That won't stop the pretty girl driving in the Maserati, but it'll stop me. What does that look like? All right, ready?
So we already in the scene, or we started?
Already in the scene.
Okay.
And action.
Well, honey, no matter what's going on out there, I need you here at home. It's okay, this stuff will blow over.
You know what? Let me ask you a question. Do they fuck with you when you drive my car?
No, I mean...
So that's my fucking point right there. You with this black Becky bullshit. You and your friends. You work downtown a little bistro, whatever the fuck you want to call that shit you do down there, and nobody fuck with you.
That's not fair.
Nobody fucks with you.
That's not fair.
The police ain't fucking with you. I even got my own people hating on me on my because of my damn car. You don't have to deal with that kind of shit. I do. The shit is fucking frustrated. I'm tired of it. And I gotta come home and hear you trying to calm me the fuck down. I want you to be mad like I am. Show me that you care.
Honey, being mad ain't gonna solve nothing. We got to get beyond that.
What the fuck am I supposed to am I not supposed to be mad about that?
I'm not saying you're not supposed to be mad, but we got to get past mad. Because mad ain't gonna...
They have stopped me 3 times this week. Suppose they shoot my ass coming home one night.
Well, see, that's what I'm saying, baby. You cannot afford to get all upset and have somebody ready to shoot you.
You know what?
You got to think
No,
past
no.
that.
I'm gonna start having my fucking 9 in my car, and the next motherfucker fuck with me,
No.
I'm blasting that.
No, that is not the way.
Don't touch me right now. I'm
That's
not
not
feeling
the
that right
way.
now.
I'm
Don't
just
touch me.
saying, baby, that is not the way. That's not going to solve anything.
I'm
That's
sick
not going
of
to do
this
anything but
bullshit.
pull you away from it. And I need you here.
You know what? I don't even know that you're here with me. Not emotionally. You're not feeling what I'm going through. You don't have to deal with this shit. You don't.
I deal with you. I'm dealing with it every day. I hear it every day about how the black man's fight and what he got to go through and what he can't do and how much he's in struggle. I hear this shit every day. Yes,
Okay, well then maybe it's time you tell me, said, I feel you. said, I understand you. Getting mad, show me that you're upset. Show me that you understand where I'm coming from. Instead of trying to calm you the fuck down all the time. Matter of fact, why don't you come out in the street with me and let's go out here and tear up some shit.
No,
How about that?
we cannot go tear up stuff.
I like it. So Sid decided to go Samuel L. Jackson on us.
You okay?
I'm a soldier.
Now, if this was real life,
No, I'm really going
if this is real life, Trey would have been the one out there like, look, let's go, let's get it. Let's get it. Like a shirt, come and get your son.
Hey.
Okay. All right, so let's talk about this. This was a really high, heated scene. I know, he was dragging, get his drag on. Okay. Sydric, tell me where this scene came from for you, man. Because this is like rare form for you, man. I was getting a little concerned over there. I was like, this is real. You know.
Well, some of the frustration seeing our young people out riding and proud but not proud.
Mm-hmm.
You know, glad to see them out there but not tearing up stuff.
Right.
But just trying to put it all in perspective. Then too, coming home from work, being stopped a couple times, you guys do that at me. So I had to kind of throw that in there too.
Right.
And so
And you were just kind of giving that reflective and that you were reflecting off some of what you've seen in the young people and giving that back as far as the energy and then relating to some of the things you've been through, stopped and all this of it. Absolutely. And I think we've all probably been through it a time or two where we got stopped a little bit like, what are you stopping me for and why? You know,
Or just tailing you for a while.
or just telling you for a while to see if you're gonna get nervous and different things like that. And those were all parts of the systematic things that oftentimes minorities have to deal with, which puts people in a position to where they get frustrated and they feel like they need to lash out and all of those things. One thing about acting and film and stage and all the things that are presented out there are usually things for the time, something that is happening in the climate of the time where writers, such as myself, directors, put together projects that are things that address the issues and address stories and messages that are happening or are relevant right now in this time. As an actor, you want to lock in on that as well too. You want to lock in on the relevancy of your character. How does this fit in this project? And even be introspective to see how the project fits into this time as well. And I felt that it fit very well. Latraia, now you were holding him down. You're the ride or die chick. I'm holding you down. You're trying to calm him down, the whole piece. Tell me a little bit about where that came from, because you hit a crescendo portion where finally you spoke out of your frustration. You got off of what's going on with him, and you got on you and spoke and really were speaking out of your frustration. Where did that come from?
Just trying to put myself into the character who is a supportive wife and maybe not understanding the husband's frustration, or maybe the husband is not understanding that she does understand the frustration.
Okay.
And just different points of view on how to handle situations. And when being that this is your partner, you may not always agree, but you will support.
Right. And find those different ways to support
Right.
as well too. So give them a hand. That's what it's about. You know, really, we wanted to really bring this episode in to bear because we know that there's a lot of things that are going out there in the community and a lot of feelings out there, a lot of things that you're seeing on television and you know what the media is pushing out. And the one thing that I want to say is that you know with everything that's going on, all the different things that are happening out there in the world today, there is a need for this type of stuff. There's a need for arts and entertainment. There's a need for these things to get people involved, get kids, teenagers involved in arts and entertainment, because a lot of times the messages and the shaping of it as it applies to this climate, what's going on today, are the things that can help us heal. And that's where we're coming from. It's really a perspective to heal. We had some serious points in here tonight. We had some points that were very funny that I hope you enjoyed. And I think it takes a little bit of all of that in order for people to really feel better and for people to heal. So I hope that we provided that for you guys tonight.
Let me add something. Let me give a cautionary tale. And I don't believe, I tell people when they ask about different shows that we produce, I tell them I don't write black shows. I don't think there's any such thing as a black show. It just so happens that black people show up when we cast it. But inside of that, I want you guys to be careful about playing the angry black guy. because it falls into a stereotype where people don't judge it out for your acting prowess, and they judge it out more for this internalized rage and this kind of this freestyling that goes on with characters. So I want to challenge you guys to really explore the depth of what's really happening inside of different scenes. That his dynamic of being stopped goes far beyond that night, far beyond what happened that week. It goes to the challenging of who he is as a person and how his manhood is being checked into boyhood. So there's other dialogue inside of that context that I want you guys to dig for. If I'm saying Think, Feel, Act is about going to 10, 11, 12, 20 different things, then you can go all the way back to I've never really felt like I'm a full person in a full scene, driving in a full city, no matter what type of car I'm driving in. That the field is not level, you know what I'm saying? And your empathy for your husband feeling inadequate in that way, when he's doing everything else, he's got a great job and all this other kind of stuff, your empathy can come from an area of disconnect, but also there should be an area where you can jump back in and say, but if he's my husband and if I love him, there is a place where I can meet him in middle ground and support him as my husband, so on and so forth. And some of the best acting in the world happens when some actors are not even speaking, but it's their reaction, and it's their empathy, and it's them creating the net that character can fall into when he gets that climax rolling up into that breaking point, and he has that safe net to fall into, and it all has to work. So be careful about what's going on, not only visually inside the scene, but what's happening, emotionally inside the scene. Think, Feel, Act's core is that, listen, if you're doing anything, stage, camera, etc., and you're just freelancing and you're trying things and you're not even feeling it or trying to connect the dots inside the performance, then somewhere in the context, it's very possible to fall short. So make sure that you're hitting all the different levels. I'm going to turn it back to Barbara. We're going to close it out. Thank you for joining us for Think, Feel, Act tonight.
Thank you, Melvin. He's a great guy. Good looking guy, too. So listen, I want to leave you. Oh, thank you guys. Y'all don't have to stand up for the exit if you don't want, of course. But listen, the one thing I want to leave you guys with tonight is we do a lot of improv and things like that when we're working our scenes, so we can really get our actors to start to think about where they're fitting inside of a role that we've designed. But we also do a lot of script work as well, too. So next week we're going to be really getting into some script work that they've run through. For you out there, if you're interested, in order to be an actor, you have to be able to watch acting. So you don't want to forsake the aspect of where acting takes place, film, stage, things like that, watching things, movies, television. You want to make sure that you're engaged in that. But also a solid acting class. There are a number of them out there. We're getting ready to gear our acting class back up as well, too, within the next couple of weeks. And of course, join us here virtually, because this will be the platform where we're sharpening actors. Thank you so much for joining us here again tonight, and we will see you guys next week on Tuesday. Peace, love. Peace, love. Thank you. Peace, and grease. Peace, and grease. And we're killing it. Yeah, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and